Hey guys, back here with another video on the Holzforma 395 XP. I already did a pop-up piston in this thing, and now I kind of want to do a port job and take you guys along for the ride. I have never done a port job before, so if I can do it, you can do it. This is a super easy saw to work on, and if you guys are wanting to get into porting or modifying saws, this is the saw to go for. So yeah, let's get to it. Alright, so first off, we need to get this thing all torn down. First off, get that chain and bar off of there. See, I'm just doing this in the bed of my truck. Just going to use a Dremel with a roto bit. Cut some material away. All you're doing with porting is making your intake and exhaust side larger. So in theory, that gives you even more flow, so it's going to give you more fuel and more exhaust. So that equals more horsepower. So I forgot to mention, you're going to want to get one of these piston holder kits. This is going to make your life a lot easier. This is going to go around your piston, make sure it's, not going to go wobbling around when you're trying to put the cylinder back on. And then these ring compressors, they'll make it a lot easier to get that cylinder head back on there. So they're cheap, 10 bucks. Just have it. Maybe if you're going to do multiple saws, it's going to have a bunch of different sizes. So definitely worth the money. All right, I got the lid off of there. So next up, we need to start disassembling the carb. So I got my exhaust off there. These are kind of tricky to do aftermarket exhaust on because they're these slotted grooves. So what I did to get my handmade exhaust on, not my buddy made for me, I just got these little square end nuts and some hex screws, and they just bolt right on there just like the stock ones would, because the stock muffler bolts are them rods that slot in here with the square end, and they go all the way through the muffler box. Now I just need to pull the carburetor off, which is pretty straightforward. There's a little throttle cable. I don't know if you can see that there. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus. But yeah, there's a throttle cable right down in here that just pops out. Let's see, the choke is just a little linkage right down in there. Just a simple linkage. And let's see if there's anything else. I think that's it. Throttle, and I got the throttle cable and the fuel lines too, and that's it. So this top one, I believe, is a crankcase vent. So that one can come disconnected once you get the whole cylinder head off, because the carburetor actually pulls out with the cylinder head. It just kind of slots out. So these bolts, that cable, and the main fuel line is all you got to disconnect, along with this side spring right here. So I'll do that real fast and pull the cylinder off. Alrighty, so now I'm gonna get working on pulling the carburetor off. Alrighty, so I'm back with a different Allen set. We'll see if I start getting snowed on pretty hard here. It's starting to come down. I can see it off in the distance rolling in, making me nervous. There we are. So what I like to do with these super tight Allen heads, and I don't have a screwdriver. I just don't have very many tools. So I like to just put my scrunch on there and break them like that. Get a little bit more leverage out of them. Okay. So everything's all disconnected. Now we're just gonna pull it up out of there like this. And our fuel line is still connected in your bottom end. Come on. Just put that there. The smaller ones, they go in the front, right? Right up front on the exhaust side. And the longer ones, they go on the rear. You can see in there, it does not look perfect towards the bottom. She's got a little wear, but I am willing to work with that. Just is what it is. I'm gonna pull the carburetor off. And that's just a little hose clamp on there. So just get your Phillips head going again. Kind of pull it off of there, nice and gently. Okay, and there's our carburetor. Put that someplace safe. Just toss it in there with the rest of it. Now, time to get the Dremel, and I'm going to review a little video before I even get started, just to make sure I don't do something stupid. And yeah, I'll get the camera set back up once I start cutting. Alright, so there was no real clear answer on how I should do it on YouTube. I just kind of looked around a little bit. So I think I'm just gonna kind of go for it. Yeah, I'm just gonna open up the exhaust port and the intake port a little bit. I don't know if I'm gonna do anything to the transfers. And again, it's like, this isn't really high consequence because jugs are pretty cheap for these things. So if it doesn't run the greatest, then, you know, I mean, it'll be a bummer, but at least I won't be, you know, screwed over if it doesn't. So yeah, I'm just gonna get right to it and do some grinding, and I'll cut the video and show you guys kind of what I ended up doing. Well, it started snowing pretty good out there. I did kind of finish up porting. I did open up it does look kind of ghetto, I know. I know I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for it, but I opened up the intake and exhaust just a little bit. I still need to clean it out. That's what I'm about to do right now, but I'm not sure if I was supposed to take out more material or less or what, but I feel like I took off a decent amount. So we'll see how it runs. It does look kind of crappy right there. Hopefully that doesn't pose a problem. I'll file it a little bit and probably sand it a little bit on the edges just to be safe so I don't screw up my piston. But let me clean it out. Alright guys, got it mostly put back together, got the exhaust on, got the carburetor back on, bolted down. So I just want to make this a point. So before you put the cylinder back on top of the piston, you want to make sure that you put some two-stroke oil, rub it around on the cylinder there, and just make sure that it's all lubricated before you try to put that piston in. And then what I like to do is just kind of pull it over. I'll put the plug back in and do a little first startup with the porting. So I will put that in there real fast.